Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the online Radio Box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Life Coach Jeff, coming to you, man, on the Jeff Releford Show. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. I really am. It's been such a great week, man, because we do the show Monday to Monday, yo. And my week has been pretty good. I had some ups and downs through it, but for the most part, I'm still here. We still alive. So we have to be grateful for something. So that's what I'm grateful for. I'm just grateful for the week as it went on. And I'm grateful for just the time spent, the time going by. Because, I could be choosing a lot. It could be a lot of stuff to get into. But guess what? I'm trying to do something positive with my life. And I'm grateful for that, yo. So how is everybody else doing, man? I hope everybody else is doing fine. And listen, I thank you for tuning in and listening to the Jeff Releford Show. Because as I say in the intro, people, you could be doing anything right now, but you are here with me from 5 to 6 p.m. And I'm grateful for it. So, let's go ahead. We're going to start it off with the shout outs, people. So, okay, we got to remember where we at, people. Remember, it is Monday. So guess what? This is Biggs Radio Monday Night Motivation, okay? You have myself on the Jeff Releford Show from 5 to 6 p.m. Mixtape Monday with Julian St. Chris from 6 to 8. And Donna Lynn Biggs is going to be with you from 8 to 10 p.m. We got you from the moment you get off from work, right? The moment you get off from work until you get ready to lay your head down. So like I said, Donna Lynn probably ain't going to tuck you in, but she'll get you ready to go to sleep. So there it is. Y'all remember tune in to this Monday night motivation for the day. And y'all pay attention, man. We got some good stuff going on. And also, please go to biggsradio.com to check us out. You can also check out our sister stations in Pasadena, California, Indianapolis, Indiana, Atlanta, Georgia. And we also have Germany, people. We got Biggs Radio Germany. That's amazing, yo. It's amazing. And then we swing it right back over here to Chicago. So y'all go ahead and check us out. And also shout out to the team. Big ups to the team, man. All the big radio personalities and also the executive team also. That consists of Adrian Mason Sr., who's executive producer, Nino Nagesh, who's program director, Freddie G. Washington, who is general manager. Freddie G. Washington is also the radio personality for Pasadena, California. We got Kimberly Patterson in Atlanta, Rodney Blue Sr. in Atlanta, Keith Winslow in Indianapolis, Donna Lynn Biggs, our head honcho and boss lady, who is also in Indianapolis. We got Al Greer, who is stationed in Indianapolis, myself in Chicago, Walter Miles in Chicago, Cedric Cusick in Chicago, Julian St. Chris represents Chicago. And represent good old Germany, we got Terry J. Dillard, Vincent Green, and Alvin L. Hill. And people, that is the team that makes up Biggs Radio. So big ups to everybody who was a part of the team. So yes, also people, if you would want information about having a commercial ran on this show or just on Biggs Radio in general, y'all go ahead, give us a call on the number you see here. Oh, no, that's not right. The number that you see here, 773-462-4447. Once again, the number 773-462-4447. So, all right, y'all, now that I've gotten all of that out the way, I still have to let y'all know where we coming from because y'all thought it was over. But boom, people, we are here at the Vibe Studios. This consists of Mr. VNO, Ron Reed, Mr. Redirect, Regroup, Refocus himself, Jeff Releford, Smooch Wallace. Ask yourself the question, who is Smooch Wallace? If you don't know him, you need to get to know him. And also, Mary Selena K of Rock Truth Radio. We make up the Vibe Studio. So if you need a show produced, a podcast or a radio show, if you're looking to go ahead and get into something that needs recording and you need somewhere to shoot your content, please hit us up here at the Vibe Studios. We're making some moves and making some good connections here. So we want y'all to be a part of that. So y'all come on to Lake Station, Indiana and see what we're about. So, all right, y'all. So today's nature of conversation. For today, this is something that I thought about. I didn't know if I was really going to come on and really talk about it for today. I wondered about it because it's one of those things. It's a sensitive subject, because we're talking about sensitivity. And I was just kind of wondering, like, we might ruffle a few feathers today. We just might ruffle a few feathers. Now, people, just to let you know, that's not my intention, but I do have an opinion about it. And I'm going to share my opinion about it. And for those who are also watching on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, go ahead and share with us too, because I would love to hear from you. I don't know. I might mess around and open up the phone lines today. We'll see. We might have a couple callers calling. We'll see. But y'all saw the tagline for today. Why are people so sensitive? What's the difference between then and now? Why are we growing up with generations, or maybe your generation, if you're listening, might be the sensitive generation? I don't know. But my question is, why are we so sensitive today in these times? Why? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm trying to figure it all out myself, as we go on through the years. I'm 34 years old, and people, I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting older. So as I get older, I mentor kids, and I'm starting to realize with these kids really do believe. They walk around and they say, you know what, I'm going to be me regardless of what anybody thinks. I don't care how it affects people. I don't care what I'm saying, how it looks, the whole nine. I am finding out that today's generation of kids, people, they are ruthless. They are extremely ruthless. I happen to mentor a young girl, and because y'all know I mentor girls on Saturday, young girls on Saturdays. But I happen to hear one of the girls say that, oh, I'm going to just be expressive. I'm going to just be me, and people will just have to adjust. I'm just trying to figure out, where are kids getting this ideology from? Where are the generations getting the ideology from? Like, I just have to be me and you just have to adjust. Because really, honestly, I don't believe that nobody has to do that to you or for you. And then you can't say anything to a child, or anyone for that matter. I want to say anyone for that matter, because what tends to happen is that people are starting to get very sensitive to criticism, to just expressing how you feel about certain situations. I often ask myself, are people sensitive because they're not used to sharing their feelings? They're not used to just talking. They're not used to having conversations where they share their emotions, they share their feelings, they share different outlooks and aspects of life. I've been asking myself this question for quite some time now, and I'm trying to figure out, why are we so sensitive in this new day and age? And let's be honest, people, this is a new era of inclusion. What I mean is, you can identify with something, and we have to respect that. So I'm just saying, I'm looking at the way that the world is going. I don't even want to say the world. I want to say the United States. Let's say that, because that's something that has to be specific to us. I can't say the whole world is like this, because different parts of the world operate differently. Maybe could it be, people, that maybe we just have so many freedoms already? And what I mean by freedoms is, we really don't censor anything in this country in terms of ideology, the way that we think and want to do things. Now, what I mean by we don't censor stuff like that is, I'm not saying that we have to be told to shut up and be quiet. What I'm saying is, I feel that censorship within the household, learning those certain things like respect, honor, love, and talking about how these things affect certain people, I think that right there is something that we missing out on. Sheila Chandler, thank you for tapping in, girl. You said woke. Hey, that's the thing, man. I hope you meant that I'm woke. I hope you mean I'm giving some good information and some knowledge. Elaborate on that. Help a brother out, because all I'm trying to do is shed some light on why we're so sensitive. I just feel, that people, we just don't. We're in a world where you can just do anything out here, Oh, let me see. Okay, Lamont Hedgespeth. I hope I'm saying your name right, buddy. I'm not trying to butcher it. It says, we have become less God conscious and more pleasing self. Hey, I agree with that wholeheartedly, man. Because, I'm a believer. I believe in God. I say that on even on the podcast and as well as the radio show. That's what I choose to believe in. So nobody's going to sway that. And that's my thing. But I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. When you start worrying about self so much and you stop being selfless, that allows you to just go ahead and take anything, for example, take those criticisms and really just run with it. We got to really look at people from a place of love. And I think that's something that we're really missing. You hear that said through every generation, the world needs more love. But I just kind of feel that when we're looking at the generations and we start looking at how people are talking, how people are saying things, people do not care. People just do not care. Pat, what it do, Pat? Okay, cousin, I'm rocking with you. Hey, Pat, thank you for finding me on the channel, sir. Thank you for finding me on the book, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you listening, big dog. But yes, once again, people, we are just so sensitive today in this world, And I'm gonna let y'all in on something. I agree with the words that I'm saying, and I am also a victim of me being sensitive at times as well. Now, I'm going to let y'all in and know how I am. I'm the type of person who's really kind of, how can I put it, people? You could say something to me, and it takes a lot to get under my skin. It takes a lot to bother me. It takes a lot. You have to really keep going and going and going and going to really get under my skin. Even with words that I said, shoot, I work a job at the mill, man. You know how many times I've been cussed out by people? And I just had to just literally turn and walk away. I literally had to just turn and walk away and not say nothing, because I made a conscious decision that nobody right now, you are not going to disrupt my peace. So that's just me. That's just how I move with it. But with that being said, if I'm the person that's also saying something to somebody, cussing somebody out or doing the wrong thing or getting overly upset, that's not my first instance. That's not the first trick that's going to come out of the hat. I would rather talk stuff out with people. And I had a very interesting talk with my wife about this subject. Very interesting talk with my wife. And I chopped it up to how people are kind of raised and being brought up in the household. Because, and I get it. When you raise your kids, you want to raise kids to kind of, to be expressive, to have a mind, to think. But I don't think it's good if kids are allowed to curse in your home. I don't know. Do we have anybody listen? Do y'all think it's okay for kids to cuss in the home? Do you think it's okay? I don't think it is. Come on, what you say, Pat? If you let people disrupt your peace, you allow them to win. Exactly, sir. That's true. But yes, do y'all allow y'all kids to cuss? Oh, here we go. We got good comments. Hey, man, I learned my peace. No, I learned my peace comes from the inside, not my circumstance or how people treat me. Oh, facts. That's good. That's real good, brother. I agree with that. Lamont, you out here dropping some good stuff, man. And Pat, y'all out here dropping some good stuff. I agree, But are y'all cool with kids cursing in the home? Now, in this instance, and I'm going to say and bring up, this particular child is 14 years old. And she says her parents allow her to cuss inside the house. Now, once again, I feel that this is now on the flip side of this, with people being so sensitive, we're also dealing with people being very harsh as well. Do y'all think that we have gotten out of the harsh times? People just kind of keeping it real with each other. And since we've gotten out of the harsh times, That allows us not to generate much of a thicker skin anymore. I kind of think that has a lot to do with it too. What we talk about, Pat. Pat says if they allow her to curse within the house when it is time, when it is time for them to put their foot down, they have no respect factor. She won't give them any at all. They lose. Hey, big dog, I hear you, but I got to throw this out here. This is the rule that they had in that household. The rule was that you can cuss when you're expressing and talking, but you can't cuss at the parent. So that's the rule. What does Lamont say? No, that's a problem when you try to be friends and not parents. And you know what, Lamont, I want to speak to that point because that's very interesting because you know what, when I feel that you got to have boundaries. You have to have boundaries with your children. I know a lot of parents who have great relationships with their kids, but that parent and child dynamic is still there. I think we are in an age where kids do need to be heard a little bit more, maybe less eccentric with their expression, because I'm telling you, that whole cursing, nah, you ain't gonna cuss. I was taught not to cuss in the household at all. And if I did do it, honestly, I was scared because I thought they would kind of like secretly find out that I was cussing. So I didn't do it personally until I got older. You know what I mean? A little bit older, we'll say. And what I mean older is like 18, 19 years old, cussing like that, just casually in conversation. I'm not saying every word was a curse word that came out of my mouth because that's not how I rolled. But somebody can tell if you're saying something to offend and if you're saying something just because you talking, And I think we kind of have lines blurred with that also, man. I'm telling you, because I wouldn't allow my child to cuss in the household. I think what that's doing is you want to set a standard. You want to let your children know that, hey, you really got to watch how you pay attention to how you carry yourself out and about. You shouldn't care about what people think, but you don't want people to think negatively automatically about you. You don't want people to think negative thoughts about you like that. So you want to limit that. You shouldn't go ahead and have to cuss or anything like that. What does Lamont say? He says, I agree. I have that with mine, but we have to know our place. Respect. Exactly, Lamont, because that's what it's about. It's about giving and showing that respect. If you can respect me as an adult, as the parent, as the leader, then I can respect you to hear you out as a child coming from a child's place. And what I mean by not old school coming from a child's place, not just because saying you the parent and I said it, you got to stay in the child's place. No, it's actually expressing how you feel, sharing with me who you are as a person, because kids are people too. And I think sometimes parents tend to forget that. And I can only say that because I mentor these kids, so that's what I see sometimes. I think sometimes as parents, they have a lot going on. Adults have a lot going on. And sometimes when we tend to focus on too much, we stem away from the kids sometimes. So I think some of that is missing, But with that being said, like I said, we are very sensitive in today's world and society. I think a lot of that really has to do with the fact that we're not going through tough situations anymore. And I agree with my wife, because this is actually what she said, that we're not going through tough situations. Life has gotten so much easier for people, so that if any little thing happens, it's over with. Let me see what my man Pat said. Pat says, but Jeff, just like that TikTok trend where the parents are allowing their children to say curse words in the mirror and saying there's no repercussions. Yeah, I've seen that too, dog. I have seen that too. Now, I don't agree with that. People take on the fads and the tricks. To me, that's reinforcing something with the child. I feel what you're saying, Pat. I feel exactly what you're saying, big dog. But, like I said, I feel that people are more sensitive nowadays, to get back on it, is because we're not experiencing harsher experiences anymore. We're not going through tough times. Especially when you look at children, man. We got technology is something. Technology, I feel, has a lot to do with us being desensitized to certain things, not really caring or paying attention to certain things, or just wanting our voice to be heard, because there are so many outlets. There are so many outlets that we have in ways of expression nowadays. It's like, yo, if nobody's listening to you, you try to figure out why you're not being heard. And I kind of feel that you shouldn't pay attention to that too much. You got to understand that you still have a voice in this world. Everybody has to understand that they have a voice in this world, and you'll have an audience. There are certain people that want to listen to you, and there are certain people that won't want to listen to you. But you don't have to react to the people that won't, or that just don't want to listen to you. You don't have to do that, people. You don't have to do that. So I believe a big part of us being sensitive is because we're not going through tough times. Now, I've been through some tough times. I got some thick skin. So some stuff people can say and do, and I can take it with a grain of salt. And we also have to learn that when people are sharing things with you, sometimes people, let me come a little closer. I wish I had the camera so I could make the camera come a little closer as I say this. Y'all have to realize that just because somebody is sharing how they feel about something with you, they're not necessarily attacking you. I'm gonna say that one more time, and I'm gonna look directly in the camera like I just did. Sometimes we have to realize, people, that just because somebody is expressing how they feel, that doesn't mean that they're attacking you. Now, before we get people in the comments sitting up here talking about, hey, people can be mean and people can be this. I'm not talking about for those people that I mean. I'm not talking about for those people that are sharing things with you, and you need to listen at this point to try to understand where somebody is coming from. What I'm talking about is when somebody is really just talking to you. No voices are elevated. Nobody's loud. Nobody's mad. Nobody's upset. We take offense to that. And I have been victim of that as well. That is something that I'm newly learning how to do, how to listen, not to react or respond, but to listen, to pay attention to what somebody is truly saying to me. You listen to understand, not to respond or react. Because a lot of times what we want to do is we want to give the knee-jerk reaction. So when we want to give the knee-jerk reaction, that adds to our level of sensitivity. Ask somebody how they truly feel about you. Or, don't even do that. What you do is you ask somebody, you go ahead and you ask somebody, you say, look, you say, not how do you truly feel about me? You say, am I this type of person? Am I a mean person? Am I rude at times? Does it sound like I come off a little too harsh? So then that gives you a chance to actually explain yourself to somebody. Hey, my brother, yeah, my wife is right, man. She is right. We don't have a lot of, we don't go through a lot of hard times, man. Yes, what does Pat say? Constructive criticism. That's all it is. Yeah, that's all it is, man. Constructive criticism, And Lamont says another problem is that we do not like constructive criticism. That is true. We do not like constructive criticism because we don't want somebody giving us direction on our life when we think we have it all together. So you see why I want to kind of talk about this topic today, people. I wanted to talk about sensitivity and why are we so sensitive today? Because it could be for a number of reasons. Now, I did read that it could be genetics too. I read that a sensitive person could have something in the DNA and hormones, and it could be genetically given to you. Your sensitivity can. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. I should have dove a little bit deeper into that. Oh, and Lamont says self-examination. That's true. I teach very big on shifting the mindset, self-awareness, and call to action. Those are the three things I talk about. That self-awareness piece is very, very key. Self-examination is very key because I kind of feel that if you don't do enough self-examination on self, then you don't set yourself up to be ready for criticism when it comes. That's what I really think. Because first, you have to be honest with yourself first. If you could be honest with yourself first, then it's a lot easier to allow other people to come in and be honest with you, I feel that way because I've had to be honest with myself, and I've asked my friends and my family the hard questions. You know, how am I? Do I come off this way? Do I talk this way? Do I sound this way or that way? Now, after going through that whole process, I've chopped it up to, yo, now I know who I am. This is who I am. You know, some of it isn't bad characteristics. Some of it is stuff that can be cleaned up, like with any of us, right? We can all clean up something. So, you know, just strive to always do better. But that sensitivity, yo, we have to I kind of feel we have to stop. We have to do things to make us a little bit tougher. Allow us to have a little bit more of a thicker skin, because, yo, I feel that we are too sensitive in certain areas. Man, if you tell somebody that you don't like something, somebody is very, very quick, just like that, to go ahead and snap off. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and to me, it doesn't make any sense at all. Quite frankly, I kind of feel that in some cases, what we need to do is we need to pull back and think about what we say before we say it. Pat says, some people feel as though the person they see in the mirror is the same person. Oh, okay. Other people see when they're looking at. Yeah, and you know what? I feel what you're saying, dog. I feel what you're saying. Because when you see that person in the mirror, you know, we kind of look at it and we say, okay, we good, we cool. But oftentimes we have to remember that people, oh my gosh, my voice is dry, mouth is dry, because I'm doing all this talking. But this is what I signed up for, right, people? Because this is talk radio. But anyway, you know, other people are there to show you the reflection of yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, when we look at the mirror at ourselves, sometimes we can accept certain things, but there are a lot of things, since we accept it, we kind of don't see it. Like, I can look in the mirror right now and I can look at myself and I can say, oh, Jeff, you look this way, you look that way. But somebody else could see something totally different. We don't like to accept other people's opinions that they see on the outside, because we think we got it all together. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we do. But hey, we got to do some type of self-examination. Telling you, man, sensitivity is something. Now, do y'all believe sensitivity can be genetically done? Do you think that it's a gene type of thing? Or do you believe that we can teach people to be tougher? I think that through experience, it can make people tougher. You know, I don't, it's kind of interesting, because I would love to see the type of genetics that people say, because like I said, I read it. I didn't read into it deeply, but I did read it, that they're saying that people who are sensitive are genetically made up that way. I believe experience can teach anybody. So if you go through some tough times, you can develop a harder exterior. It probably does depend on what type of experiences that you go through. What did Pat say? I don't believe so much is genetic. Okay. I think it's more so taught by family values that go along in some case. Okay. I hear you, Bet. I hear you, dog. Yeah. I do feel that this is more family values. I kind of, come on. And I agree with you, Pat, a lot, because honestly, Pat, I see it as, you can have a very sensitive person in your household, but the moment you could teach somebody not to care about what people say and what people think, a switch can go off. And this can happen at a young age, and they can continue to be that person, right? And then maybe when they get older, they've been that way for so long. Now they realize, oh, snap, I don't have to protect myself as much. Maybe I don't have to defend myself. That was something my parents told me, because when I was younger, kids can be cruel. You know, now I'm not a child anymore. I'm an adult. I can still keep my guard up and my fence up, right? But you have to learn to keep it up, and you have to learn to keep it down. You have to learn how to manage how you deal with your emotions, your feelings, how you process your emotions and feelings. All that stuff. Oh man, it's wild. It's a lot. What she said. There you go. It's how you process and handle those tough times. Yes, sir. It's how you process and handle the tough times. Because I'm telling you, people, I have sat down with many of people through life coaching and through some group coaching too. And I kind of feel that we all, just by looking at it, we all have the same common problem. And it's how we process our bad situations into good ones. You know, if somebody bullies you long enough, you're going to think that all people are bullies. If you get bullied by people long enough and for so long, you will start to believe that all people bully you, because what you're doing is you're going through your experiences. Let's see what Ron Reed has to say when he chimed in. He says, I think there are naturally sensitive people, genetics, okay, but it needs to be managed. I agree. Okay. We got a different take on it. I hear you, brother Ron. I hear you, Ron Reed of the VNO. What you know? We need to take accountability for our own feelings and not blame other people for making us feel away. Hey, big dog, that is a great statement. I love that statement, sir. And I love that statement. Y'all know why I love it, if y'all watch me enough, because the word accountability is in there. And that's very true. You have to take some type of accountability for you being able to manage your own feelings. People don't have to go ahead and you don't have to allow people to dictate how you feel all the time. What's Pat talking? And let's not forget the saying, most people don't show you the real them. They're showing you the representative until it's time for the real them to come out. Hey, facts, sir. I agree, Pat. I agree wholeheartedly. Because honestly, you know, when people sit up here and they do show you the representative at first. They do. You know, it's kind of like when you're dating. You know what I mean? What are you going to see first? You're going to see the representative because you're trying to impress people. Now, there are some people out there who just don't care. Some people just do not care. Like I said, on the flip side, to sensitivity is also a roughness, a harshness that comes along with it. But before I go ahead and talk about that, y'all know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and remind y'all where y'all at real quick. So we are just going to take a very quick moment. I'm going to remind y'all where y'all at, and we will be right back in a moment here. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the Online Radio Box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay, Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation. Let's go. And we are back, people. I had to remind y'all where we was at. You know, I just got to take the time to just drop that little bug again. And once again, please, if you haven't already and you are listening, go ahead and on your Android or Apple device, go to the App Store and download that Online Radio Box app so you can listen to Biggs Radio Chicago on the go. And if you can't catch me on the live stream, go ahead and pay attention to your boy on Online Radio Box. Just type in Biggs Radio Chicago. And then you can go ahead, tap in, and you can catch our Monday motivation lineup, which I can't forget. Let me go ahead and bring this up one more time for y'all. So from 5 to 6, we have myself on the Jeff Releford Show, and we have Mixtape Monday with Julian St. Chris from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and we have the Donald Lynn Biggs Show from 8 to 10 p.m. So we got you from the moment you get off work, people, from the moment you get off work for when you get ready to go to sleep. Donald Lynn gonna tuck you in. Now, Al Greer, he'll put you to sleep with bedtime stories, but she ain't Al Greer. This is Dinah Lynn Biggs, so she gonna tuck you in and get you ready. But all right, y'all tune in to that lineup from 5 to 10 p.m. You can catch all three of us every Monday, and y'all tune in. So, like I said before, people, before we took the breaks and we reminded y'all where we was at real quick, I need to let y'all know this. Like I said, for the sensitive part of things, we have to remember that there's a flip side to this. And Lamont says we live in a day of wolves in sheep's clothing. All day, Lamont. I agree with you, brother. I agree. A lot of people don't want to come with that real. And sometimes what comes with the real is a sense of harshness. So, like I said, now back to this same girl that I was talking about earlier. Now, she said it was okay to curse. You know, she said it was okay for her to curse in her family, but she also has a sense of harshness around her too. So when somebody can give her a remark or say something to her, she's very quick to be snappy, very quick to say things, to just be like, oh, okay, well, you said this about me. Well, oh, well, you said I have a big forehead. Well, that's why your mom is such and such and such and such. She's very quick to give a response. She won't walk away. As soon as she hears negativity, she meets it with negativity. Now, do we feel that that could be something brought on because of her being internally sensitive to comments that are made to her? And now she's put up a wall. Now she's made a defense mechanism. So with this defense mechanism, it's her lashing out at other people instead of just walking away. That's what I believe it is. You know, I've had time to see the child. I've had time to look at her real quick. And I think it's a lot going on in that bad boy, yo. It is a lot going on. Oh, what did my man say? Lamont says, it's sad. I understand her because it's more of her environment. Exactly. Lamont, definitely. I'm glad you said it, sir, because it is true. It's very true. It is more of her environment, how she's being raised. And, you know, no parent comes with the book on how to raise a child the correct way. Now, I do want to say that for all my parents out there that's listening, for the people watching, I get it. I get it. You know, everybody's doing the best that they can. But I also feel that to an extent, we've lost that moralistic value in the household as well. And since we've lost the moralistic value, what it does is it just allows us to just do too much when it comes. So we have to, my wife says we have to overcompensate. So if we have to overcompensate, we have to overcorrect. So we have to overcorrect how we were once raised, because we don't want our kids to experience the same thing we experienced. So with that overcorrecting, sometimes we give too much leeway and we lose some of the boundaries within generation to generation. You know, we lose that because we're trying to be a more, what do they say? A gentler parent. I think that's what they say. You try, because that's the term, gentle parenting now. So we try to be more of a gentler parent to our kids, and we kind of miss out on that part because we could be teaching them strength, you know, we could be teaching them honor, we could be teaching them that type of stuff. What did my man say? Lamont says you hit the bullseye right there. Moral compass has fallen. Hey man, I'm just here to spread some of this word. I do feel that the moral compass has left a lot of the household. Big ups to my wife. That's right, baby. Megan Releford. Yes, your boy is married. That is the wife, Megan Releford. Thanks, babe. I appreciate the support and you watching. But yes, I feel that the moral compass has left a lot of the household. You know, like I said, I couldn't cuss in my household. I couldn't say certain things. You know, I had to think about things before I said it. Now, I would like to say that me living in my household, sometimes my black people who might be watching, you know, my people, you know, I love us so much, but our culture sometimes is kind of iffy. I kind of tend to think a lot of times with black culture, us being expressive in trying to share how we feel is often followed by, why are you being smart with me? Now, I was met with that a lot when I was just trying to be expressive in my family. Not in a mean way. I would also ask questions to try to gain understanding. But I had to realize that, okay, Jeff, you're not being smart. I don't even know where that came from. I would like to think that maybe I was trying to get smarter so I could understand you. right? So I can try to understand you and why you might have reprimanded me, chastising you. That chastising me. That's what trying to correct me. Why are you correcting me so I can learn from the correction? I believe I know for a fact that's where I was coming from when I was raised. What's Lamont saying here? Saying what was a curse word. Grandma and mama didn't play that. Hey, there's no lies in there. Grandma, mama, and mama did not play that at all. Shoot, when you talking about grandmama and mama, shoot, talk about my grandfather. My grandfather did not play that. He is still to this day, he is a man of few words. Excuse me, but when he has something to say, you listen to him. So all these certain things contribute. Now, everything that we've talked about, right? The household dynamic, going through certain experiences in life, all of these things contribute to why we have sensitive children and people today. And I agree with my cousin Brian, also, it could be, there are some naturally sensitive people out there. And these naturally sensitive people just have to learn how to manage their emotions. But I want to just say it's a naturally sensitive people. It's all of us. We all have to learn how to manage our emotions, right? So that way we can see how they affect people, good and bad. Hey, I didn't write the rule book. I just kind of feel to some type of moral standard and compass. It's a duty. It should be your duty to understand how certain people can affect, how certain people can react to the words, the phrases, or the reactions that you give them. And it is okay to fall in line and try to figure that out. Now, I get it. Some of y'all listening don't have time to do that. I understand. Some of y'all don't have time to do that. Some of y'all might be listening saying, hey, brother, I don't care. I care less about what people go say and what people go think. I care. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be me. You do you. But just realize next time, if somebody reacts a certain way or has an attitude, it's okay to say to yourself, did I do that? Did I do something wrong? Could I have possibly said something? Me and my cousin had a real good conversation before he left out of here. We were talking about, I told him, I don't understand why people will ask you and ask you this question wholeheartedly when you're trying to let them know why you feel a certain way. Why do people say, you don't have to explain yourself to me? Now, I don't think maybe I have a totally different definition. Maybe y'all can chime in a little bit. I don't know. Maybe y'all can chime in on this bad boy. I have a different explanation of what explaining yourself is. If I sense that somebody is coming off, giving me a response based off of something that I said, and I hear the voice being elevated, or something happening, I say, hey, man, it's all right. I said this because of such and such and such and such. And this person proceeds to be mad and they say, well, why are you explaining yourself to me? I'm not explaining myself to you. I'm letting you know that, hey, I sent something off of you and I'm just want to see if you good. If you tell me you good, I'll run with it and I'll keep talking. But if you keep sending me that same response, we're going to have to address something. And it's okay to do that. It is okay to do that with people. But I don't know. How do y'all feel about that, yo? Do you feel that it's okay to explain yourself to people or let them know where you're coming from? If you feel that you've done something wrong, you have to do something right. Because once again, these are all the things that we are talking about that help shape people and their sensitivity. It's okay to let somebody know how you feel. It is okay to do that. But when you do it, you have to make sure that the environment is comfortable. Everybody's okay with what's being said. And you got to have an environment set to let them know that, hey, I'm saying this not to offend you. But then you could still say all of that and the person on the other side cannot receive it. I've definitely been there when you can give the most comforting and loving words to a person. And what will they do? They will take that and they will think you are still attacking them. You could tell them you coming from a place of love and mean it from the depths of your heart, but they'll still believe it. Because I feel to an extent, people will go ahead and what they'll do is their own perceptions and how they was raised, that's their reality. So if they've met so many people in that lane, they're going to give you that same response because those are the people that they've had the interactions with. What does Lamont say? I totally agree with you because I don't like to assume about people. And exactly, Lamont, that's what it is, man. You don't want to assume anything about people. I always say this. If you put your truth out there, the whole truth out there, at least you did your part. If you stated how you felt, why you felt that way, you did it in a respectful manner, and you did what you could to resolve a situation, you did your part. Let that other person go ahead and deal with the mess that they dealing with, because evidently you have nothing to do with that. What you say, Big Dog? You can't help it if they don't receive it. Just plant the truth and in love. There it is, Big Dog. That's exactly what I'm saying. You've done your part. Just plant the seed. Walk away from it. If they choose to have the dialogue with you, that's cool. If not, go the other way. It's cool. No love lost. You know, we not hurt on this side of the fence here. We not going to be hurt. But yes, people, once again, sensitivity is just something I feel that we have to learn how to control. We have to all take a good, grand look at our emotions. And when we have our emotions, we have to learn how to harness them and how to deal with them. Because we have a sensitive generation due to lack of harsh experiences. I hate to say it. And yes, although there may be some sensitive people out there that are naturally like that, I feel that we are at a time now where everybody is the most sensitive that they've ever been. The most sensitive, even men. And I have to say that about men. There's nothing wrong with men being sensitive. But what I mean by sensitive is sensitive to words that are being said to you. Not just letting it brush off your back. Not just saying, all right, whatever, man, you feel that way. All right. No, you're not leaving it there. What you're doing is you're letting something rest on you and you're giving that negative energy. That's what I mean by sensitivity. So it's okay to be sensitive and to be in touch with your emotions and the softer side of you, whether you're male or female. But what I'm saying is when you're sensitive and you're reacting to certain things that I said to you, you got to think about what's being said. Handle it in a more respectable way. Realize that everybody out here ain't trying to fight you all the time. Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. You deal with that. Even with grown folk. The adults, I'm surprised as to how many fights the adults get into. And it be over petty stuff. Sometimes it's more petty than the kids. That stuff that is mind-blowing to me. Grown parents can't walk away from certain situations. Now, they want to fight. I ain't got no time to fight unless it's necessary. If you can set up there and you push the button, you can provoke me, you threw a hand, you threw a punch, and it landed, it's on. But I'm going to do everything I can in that moment to walk away. I might have some words for you, but fighting ain't that first resort. Nah, people, we have to find more beneficial ways to deal with our emotions. If you can't talk it out, that person don't want to hear you out, just get out the door. That's all it is. I don't care where you at. You could be at the basketball game, the football game. And let's remember, these parents, they get very, very exuberant over their children in sports. Yo, a call is a call. If the call was wrong, okay, it was wrong, but it was made. Ain't nobody reversing the call. We don't need you out on no court or no field acting a whole fool over your child. Because guess what? The child might not agree with it, but the child is going to get over it at the end of the day. You need to learn how to harness your anger and your emotions in that moment. Oh, man, it has been a mouthful here, man. A whole mouthful. Because I got a lot to say about this topic. I can say a heck of a lot more on this bad boy. But, what's my wife talking? Let's see what she brought up here. Most people live from the perspective of their ego. And our ego is always easily threatened. Oh, I'm going to say that one more time. That's what my wife said. She said, most people live from the perspective of their ego. And our ego is always easily threatened. This is very true. Ego is usually threatened by knowledge. You not going to tell me about me. So not knowledge. It could be knowledge about different things or different aspects of life and the world, all that. But it's usually we don't want nobody to tell us about ourselves because you don't know me. I know me better than you do. You ain't lying, baby. You ain't lying at all. What my man Lamont say, some of the parents need to stay at home. Yes, they do, big dog. Some of the parents need to stay at home. You know, maybe they just need to hear the game on the radio. You know, because they still play some of them games on the radio. High school games, maybe not the younger games, but they still do. They put some of them games on the radio. Some of the parents do need to stay home. Yes. You know, and ego is a big thing, yo. Never allow your ego to get so big that you feel like you're above. Come on. Because once again, that's another thing that triggers the sensitivity, you know. Now, there are some people out there that I do know that'll purposely say things and do things to get under your skin and to push your buttons. I see these people every day. Work with them. You know, these people will go ahead. They'll say something to get under your skin intentionally, and they really don't care. They don't care at all. They don't give a crap about how you feel. They don't care about what you were doing. They don't care that you had a bad day. All they care about is themselves. Real talk. And they will stop at nothing. They will stop at nothing just so they feel good. Now, we all should try to make ourselves feel good, but we shouldn't make ourselves feel good at the expense of somebody else feeling bad. Hey, once again, I didn't write the morality rule book. I'm just saying that morals have left. And when we start talking about sensitivity, you know, morals have left us and how we deal with and process our emotions. And we have to do that. We have to just be better. Can we just be better? How y'all listening? Can y'all and watching? Can we just make a pledge to be better? Let's see. Let's see some people. Shout out to Raymond Batts, Antoine Curry, my boy Lamont, Teresa Keys, Luana Figueroa. What's up, girl? We're going to be doing some good stuff with you soon. Shout out to you. Javon Jacobs, Ron Reed, the cousin, Tony and Jaquise. And, you know, we got my people managing the Vibe Studios. That's what we at, but the Vibe Studios, you know, that's how we roll. So shout outs to each and every one of y'all listening. Yo, and listen here, I appreciate y'all for really tuning in to today's conversation, man. If you missed it, check the replay because we add more. We're still adding more to this. Lamont, what you talking about, man? What he said? He said, people like that, you need to remember because they have personal motives for pushing your buttons. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They do. They have personal motives for pushing your buttons. Usually these personal motives are because they just don't like you. They just don't like you. Now, I don't know why they don't like you, but usually people will push your buttons because they don't like you or they think you're some type of way or they think you're trying to portray something. I always tell somebody, hey, man, if you really want to know how somebody is, try having a conversation with them. You don't know. They might be a cool person. And if they blow you off, okay, they blew you off. Now you know, but that don't give you the right to just treat them bad. Just leave some people alone, yo. Leave people alone. Let people be in their own headspace. It is okay to do that. It's okay to do that. Hey, man, look here. We got 5 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Go ahead, call it a day. This has been a great subject, great topic to talk about. And all those names that I listed, I appreciate each and every one of you for listening and watching. And our listeners, once again, through the online radio box app, y'all can go to your Apple or your Android device and download, okay? Download that online radio box app and type in Biggs Radio. Just type in Biggs Radio and you'll fall in line with all of our sister stations of Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Chicago. And remember, people, we have people in Germany also. So we got people in Germany. I don't know what the abbreviation for Germany is. I don't know. Maybe somebody can put that in the chat real quick before we leave. I do not know. But yes, Lamont says, God bless you. Great show and be safe out there. Yes, brother. Hey, thank you, man. Look, I appreciate once again each and every one of y'all for listening. And as always, I'm going to do my moniker because even though it's the Jeff Releford Show, I'm still Life Coach Jeff. So remember, y'all, tune in to Julian St. Chris right after this on Biggs Radio Chicago, Voice of a New Generation, because he'll be on with Mixtape Monday. And then right after, for 2 hours from 8 to 10, you'll be listening to Dynalyn Biggs on the Dynalyn Biggs Show. So remember, y'all, redirect, regroup, refocus. And I love y'all so very much. And peace out. Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Jeff Releford, and I thank you for joining me on the Jeff Releford Show. Because listen, you could have been doing anything else today, right? But you chose on your way home from work, or if you just at home chilling, to tune in to the Jeff Releford Show. Now, real quick, I want to say this to you. Go ahead, tell your friends and family to download the Online Radio Box app to your Android or your Apple device. So that way you can go ahead and listen to us on the go. And what you do is from there, you type in Biggs Radio Chicago. Okay? Biggs Radio Chicago. And also listen to our sister stations in Indianapolis, Indiana, Pasadena, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And once again, you are kicking it with Jeff Releford on the Jeff Releford Show on Biggs Radio Chicago, the voice of a new generation.